It is now time for our feature presentation. Spoiler warnings. Alright guys, our next review, 1989's Back to the Future 2.
Do you remember the future?
You've got to come back with me.
Where?
Back to the future.
Are we back?
We're back.
What do you mean we're in the future?
October 21st, 2015.
Marty, we're gonna be able to see our wedding.
Wow. The future. I gotta check this out, Doc.
Look what happens to your son.
He's a complete wimp.
Don't talk to anyone.
You've been looking. Hey, look!
Don't touch anything.
I need to borrow your hoverboard.
And try not to look at anything. I didn't invent the time machine to win at gambling.
I can't lose.
I invented a time machine to travel through time.
Hey, Doc, I'm all for that. What's wrong with making a few bucks on the side?
Now,
The time continuum has been disrupted, creating an alternate 1985.
there have been a few changes.
It's like we're in hell or something.
No, it's Hill Valley, although I can't imagine hell being much worse.
But they'll all be back.
Eat less slackers!
Biff?
Hello? Hello? Anybody home?
Well, that can't be you. You're so big.
Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd, Michael J. Fox,
More like a couple of teenagers, you know?
and Michael J. Fox.
Mom, is that you?
Steven Spielberg presents a Robert Zemeckis film, Back to the Future,
Gotta get back in time.
Part 2.
Gotta get back in time. Get back in time.
Well, Dwayne, what'd you think of Back to the Future 2?
So, Sean, as much as I love Back to the Future number 1, I just don't think Back to the Future 2 lives up to the standard of the first one. You and I have had some conversations about it. We'll do a little more conversations when we review number 3. It's a good story. I just think that it tries to do a lot of jumping around between time and stuff, and it just, the flow in this one does not feel the same as number 1, number 3 does, is how I'll go with it.
I agree. I think the biggest issue too was it felt like this movie was just in the shadow of 1, and they go back to they go to the future, which, I mean, okay, so this is probably not their fault, but this movie came out in 1989. They go to 2015. I never watched any of these movies until like a week ago in 2025, 10 years after the future they go to. So it kind of was cheesy and goofy to me. So that could be my fault for watching it fucking 30 years after I'm supposed to. But watching it now is kind of goofy. And, hoverboards and like flying Michael Jackson TVs that's taking orders. Flying cars, which Michael Jackson gave their permission. However, one thing they didn't get permission for was they replaced, was it Crispin Glover?
Crispin Glover, yeah.
They had the rights to replace him as an actor, which they did. However, they didn't have the rights to use his face mold, because I thought it was Crispin Glover when I first watched it, because it looked just like him. Turns out they took his mold when they did the old man prosthetics for the first film, and they reused it so it looked just like him, which you got some money off of. Anyway, and also I wasn't a big fan of just the old people makeup in this movie. It looked kind of scary. I don't know why it took them a while, to get old people makeup right. Like Grandpa Texas Chainsaw Massacre look like he's like 200. You know, looks freaky. I don't know. I just didn't care for the future stuff, and then they go back to 1955, and he basically just following him a past self around. I didn't care for it. However, it sounds like I'm being very critiquey of the movie. I actually liked the movie. It's just compared to the first one, it dipped bad.
Yeah, it's not a bad movie at all, but like compared to the first one, and we talk about how it's compared to the third one, it's just not the same level as those. Like you said, you go to the future, and he's got hoverboards and flying cars and all these other things. They had people looking like Ronald Reagan taking orders and Max Headroom and stuff like that. You did have Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers being Marty's business partner, the one that was on the TV. Yes.
Is Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers a pedophile?
I don't think so.
I don't know. I just heard some stuff like he like slept with a 16-year-old girl. Okay, anyway,
what does that got to do with the movie?
It has nothing. I'll be quiet about that.
And he's a guy. You find out that Marty is not a musician anymore because he got in an accident. They don't explain it to the third one what happened, but he don't play guitar, he don't do anything like that. So he's not where he wants to be in the future as an adult. The family's not doing as well off as he thought he was going to be and everything. So he goes and helps Flea's character do a shady deal, and come to find out they're being watched by the owners of the company, and he gets fired via fax and stuff. And
that's another thing that don't exist in
2015.
Yeah,
faxes exist in 2015. They don't exist in 2025. But
okay.
Still.
All right. Yeah. To me, it's just like, I didn't care for the future as much as I did like when they went to the past, and then when they go back to the past, I'm like, we've seen all this, it is kind of cool how they tied in. And you could also tell that 2 and 3 were kind of already like they're prepping for 3 a little bit. The reason is because they kind of filmed 2 and 3 back to back. It was one big script at first, and then they decided to break it off into 2 movies, which I think was probably a good idea, to be honest with you. Doc Brown's still cool in this one. I like he's got some cool shades in this one. Really cool. I like this. I don't understand why he left Marty's girlfriend and their dog in the future. And he goes, well, it'll work out once I fix the timeline. I was like, are you sure? I mean, it wouldn't hurt to go get them. You're going back in time. So time's not really of the essence here. You have time to go get them. Just in case you're wrong. I don't know. That was a little weird. What do you think? Do you think?
Yeah, I forget why he said he left him there. I know he said they didn't fix the timeline, so it doesn't really matter if they left him there or not. But yeah, I wouldn't have left him there because that timeline's still going forward. Something bad could have happened to him.
Yeah.
Or something.
Well, what I heard was they really weren't sure about making a part 2, so they just wanted a cool ending. So they didn't think too much about her being with them when they ended 1, and when they made 2, like, okay, great, now she's with us. I think this was their way to write her off.
Yeah.
And that's kind of lame. I mean, I kind of was liking her as a character. I feel like they could have used her a little bit more. And you do have hints for 3 in here as well. Doc Brown is wearing a shirt that has cowboys on it, and he talks about how he wants to go to the old Wild West. Well, don't worry, Doc Brown, you're heading there soon. And then Marty gets an almanac, which is pretty genius, and is like all the sport winners from like 55 or 1950 to like 2000. It's like 50 years, and like he can just keep betting and making all this money. And Doc scolds him for buying it, throws it away right on top of this trash can, and boy howdy does future Biff find it and steals the DeLorean and gives it to past Biff. And past Biff's a whole asshole about it, and I was like, damn, I'd be pissed if I was an asshole like that in the past. And he wants Biff to use all this so that he can like have a great future, and he does. And they actually, we're not gonna go politicky on this one, but I heard they kind of like inspired Biff's character in 2 off Donald Trump. And that's what I've heard. Like, and, that was Donald Trump back in 1989, I think. It wasn't like today Donald Trump. Anyway, And now, when they go to the here now, I guess the present, Biff's like super rich. He's got giant towers and casinos. And Marty's mom is now married to Biff because Marty's dad, George, was killed. Turns out it was by Biff killed him. And, which was kind of, I kind of like that. I wish they would have stayed in 85 with the whole rich Biff. I think that would have been a better movie than going back to 55. I kind of wish they did something, maybe not use the almanac or something. I like that future that present they were in, where Biff was like this overlord or super billionaire evil guy. So Marty does go back in time, gets the almanac from Biff, they destroy it, and everything's all happy and back to normal. But before they can go back in time, Doc Brown is flying around in the DeLorean, gets struck by lightning, and gets sent back to the past. Marty gets a letter from, Wells Fargo, that Doc Brown is in the year 1988. 1888, same thing. And Marty's like, oh man, I gotta go save my buddy. And that's the end of part 2. But we do get a trailer for part 3 at the end of part 2. So they okay, that's unique. And then they said the movie will continue in Back to the Future 3. Dwayne, final thoughts and grade on Back to the Future 2?
Back to the Future 2, not as good as number 1. I did enjoy it. It's good. It's not as good as number 1.
Yeah.
We were talking a little bit about it and cameos in the movie and everything. The guy who handed the letter to him is the guy from Happy Gilmore, the one that says "You jackass."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, John Flattery, something Flattery, I think his name.
Isn't Elijah Wood in this movie too?
He is. He's one of the kids that watches Marty play the video game.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of cool. I heard they wanted Ronald Reagan to be in part 3, but he turned it down. Yeah, Dwayne. It's still a good movie though, right?
Yeah, still a good movie. I'm gonna give it 6. 6. It's not as good as the first or third, but it's not a horrible movie. It's just, and we'll talk about some more on the third one. It's just kind of like It's like a setup. First one's good, and this one sets up the third one to be good.
Well, I'm not going to go with 6, but here are my pros and cons for Back to the Future 2. My pros: still a great, fun, entertaining movie. We have all the characters we love from 1 back here in 2, minus a few character replacements, as in Marty's girlfriend is now a new actress. Still fun and entertaining start to finish. My cons: I felt this movie was such in the shadow of part 1, it didn't really have room to be unique and have a whole lot of room to fly here. I was really confused by Doc Brown leaving, Marty's girlfriend, and Einstein the dog in the future. You have plenty of time. You're going back in time. There's no rush. I'm giving Back to the Future 2 8. Nobody calls me chicken out of 10.